Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are taking a literal mountain of macroeconomic data, cultural norms, and some pretty crazy digital trends, and we're synthesizing it all into your master playbook. So if you're looking to capture and actually hold audience attention in 2026, you are definitely in the right place.
Let's just dive right into the ultimate question, right? How on earth do you break through the relentless digital noise and connect with today's complex consumer? Because honestly, it's not just about posting more often anymore. It's about deeply understanding the landscape we're playing in.
To figure that out, we're going to cover the modern consumer mindset, navigating American social norms, what the audience watches, YouTube trends for 2026, and finally, the anatomy of virality. Starting with part 1, the modern consumer mindset, navigating the economic squeeze versus the splurge.
Okay, so looking at some fascinating data from the new consumer, we're seeing this really wild paradox right now. Consumers are absolutely feeling the pinch of inflation and economic pressure, but paradoxically, they just keep spending.
I mean, check this out. $137.4 billion. That is just U.S. holiday spending from November 1st to Cyber Monday alone. So, despite all the global economic chaos and rising prices, the consumer has absolutely not stopped participating in the market. They're still buying.
But what's really interesting is exactly how they're spending. Everyday goods might feel super expensive to most, but certain demographics are actively trading up to premium products. Look at this. Younger, wealthier individuals are trading up by 17%, and current GLP-1 wellness users are trading up by 12%. That's compared to just a 2% average overall. People are quite literally finding room in their budgets to splurge on personal care, even when times are tight.
And when we look at the underlying psychology through this impartial survey data on life satisfaction, we see these subtle shifts across political lines. Now, we're definitely not taking sides here. We're just looking at the facts to understand the mindset. You can see self-reported life satisfaction subtly varies from 6.42 up to 7.32 out of 10. It really just highlights the incredibly diverse, nuanced sentiments you've got to navigate when addressing a broad audience today.
Moving on to part 2. Navigating American social norms, directness, diversity, and dining.
So, if you're targeting the U.S. market, you really have to get their communication style. It's all about being direct yet polite. They appreciate clarity. In a lot of cultures, being indirect or apologizing frequently is just good manners, right? But in the States, over-apologizing can actually come off as evasive or a lack of confidence. And that brings us to the core do's and don'ts. You've got to respect personal space. Keep it about an arm's length. Greet with a firm handshake and direct eye contact. Oh, and always tip service staff 15 to 20%. That's a big one. Also, assuming cultural homogeneity or just casually bringing up politics or religion with strangers, definitely avoid that. Mastering these baseline rules is how you build trust without accidentally alienating people. All right, Section 3. What the audience watches. The 2025 to 2026 vlog landscape. So what are they actually clicking on? Well, audiences are flocking to these highly specific niches. You've got everything from the peaceful escapism of gardening and nature vlogs, all the way to the hardcore utility of tech reviews and fitness content. The modern viewer basically wants either deep relaxation or highly practical, actionable value. But to actually compete in these spaces today, you absolutely need the right toolkit. A high-quality camera, a crystal-clear mic, a stable tripod, soft lighting, and slick editing with tools like CapCut. Because let's be real, high-quality audio and visual polish, they aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They are the bare minimum expectation from the audience. Section 4. YouTube Trends for 2026. The Rise of the Traditional and the Bizarre. This is where things get really fascinating. Viewers are totally embracing traditional hour-long TV-style serialized formats, and creators are using these to build really deep, lasting relationships. But at the exact same time, they are using nonverbal shorts or extensively dubbed videos to instantly cross global language barriers and reach tens of millions of new viewers overnight. And then you have these exploding hyper-niches. Hipda is a perfect example of this. It's this wild mix of traditional Indonesian dangdut folk music with the global appeal of hip-hop. It just proves that blending highly local cultural elements with a global format is an absolute winning strategy for breaking the algorithm. Now, on the completely bizarre side of things, we have Italian brainrot. It's this chaotic, garish, and super maximalist editing style. And while it might seem totally exhausting to some of us, it is completely capturing a younger generation that feels hyperstimulated and is actively rebelling against those traditional, overly polished aesthetics.
Finally, Section 5, the anatomy of virality, triggering emotional resonance.
Here is the secret. Virality is not magic. It's actually a mechanical formula. It relies heavily on emotional resonance, relatability, surprise, utility, and creating social currency. Basically, if your content makes the person sharing it look good, smart, or empathetic to their friends, they're going to share it.
Think about Dove's legendary Real Beauty campaign. Grounding your message in universal relatability is just huge. That campaign triggered this intense emotional storytelling about self-esteem, which is undeniably one of the most powerful ways to inspire sharing across the internet.
And the wild part is, these mechanics hold up even if the tone is completely different. Whether you're using rapid-fire humor and absolute surprise like Old Spice, or leveraging the brilliant simplicity and massive social proof of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, you are still pulling those exact same mechanical levers of virality.
So, we have covered a ton of ground in this explainer today. You've seen the data on the resilient, trading-up mindset of the modern consumer. You know the cultural etiquette required to build trust, and you've got the exact mechanical blueprint for virality in today's landscape. So, the only question left to ask yourself is, armed with all this insight, how are you going to adapt your playbook to capture their attention in 2026? Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.